business coach, millionaire mentor, a multi-talented serial entrepreneur, Africa's most sought-after sales guru, the boss of sales superstars, internationally acclaimed best-selling author, a public speaker par excellence, life and finance strategist.
My name is Sam Harvard.
Right, good evening and welcome to the first of its kind. All right, this is the family meeting we are going to be having for the 2025 year. And I would have loved to call it the first one, but I think we had one last week, but that one was kind of in-house. So today we're having more of a generic public class. And I want to deal with a very interesting topic today. And I want you to do me a favor, if you're joining me from anywhere in the world, to help me type where you are watching from in the comment section, and do me a favor, put a thumbs up on this video, and if you can, and I would love it, hit the share button and share this. I actually forgot to send reminder to the community about the event, so that's why we may not start with a lot of people, but really it's not all about crowd. And the good thing is the fact that the replay is always going to be available, so that those who are not here at the beginning will be able to be here later to see what we discuss and be a part of it. So I'm glad to have you and welcome to this very important broadcast. Tonight, so we'll be talking about a topic: the best way to make money in 2025. I struggled with that topic because it was something else that I had in mind that I wanted to talk about, but I needed to streamline it into something simple that we can just get into right away and then pick something out of it before we proceed. So first of all, welcome to 2025. If this is the first time that we are seeing, I want to welcome you and say Happy New Year. January is almost over, but it's still a new year nonetheless. I mean, so many beautiful things are still in stock for you and I, and we are going to rock this year because we are wiser than we were in 2024. We are smarter than we were in 2024, and we know better than we knew in 2024. So we're going to have quite a lot of interesting things coming our way. So I'm going to take a short interlude, and when I'm back, we're going to dive right into the reason we're here. Please feel free to hit the thumbs up, share this video, and I'll see you in a
How powerful.
Awesome. Welcome back. And this is the family meeting. So this year, 2025, I'm going to be having a session every week like this, a live session publicly on this YouTube channel. And we're also probably going to be having an inner circle session on Zoom. Yeah, at the same time we're having on YouTube. So YouTube is going to be public, but the one on Zoom is going to be for the community member, as many people as will be able to make it into the Zoom. But it's technically the same thing. The only difference is that on Zoom, I'm able to hear you, or you're able to hear me in real time, and I'm able to see your responses in real time as well. So it's just a sweeter interaction in my own view, as the case may be. All right. So the beginning of the year and the things that I want us to talk about. First, let me do shout out to people who are in the comment section. So I have Innocent from Lagos, Nigeria. Hi, Innocent. I have Timo from Port Harcourt. I have Joshua Olabode. I think Joshua has not said where he's from. I also have Gilbert from Lagos, and who else? Yeah, Obina Jude. I say hello to all of you, everybody that is watching this live. Please put a comment, put in the comments where you're watching from. It's important so that I'll be able to see you and know that you're also here, and it's good that we have this. Okay, for my students on the TikTok monetization masterclass, this is not our class. This is a generic class for everybody. By now, you should have access to samharvard.com, which is my website, the new one that we are about to launch. On that website, we're going to have a general community, which is Sam Harvard community, and we're going to be focusing on three key things. We're going to be focusing on personal branding. We're going to be focusing on wealth growth and creation, and also business growth. So these three things are tied together. For you to be able to build and grow your wealth, you need to have a growing business. For you to have a growing business, one of the key things you must change or pay attention to this year is your personal brand. So starting from everything personal brand, the brand foundation, the brand manual, to your brand messaging, to your audience segmentation, to your messaging, to the content creation, content format, content distribution, content multiplication, everything in between, all 9 yards. We're going to be dealing with everything this year. And you're going to be having access to different trainings. Most are going to be free. All right. But depending on where you are and more personalized solution that you need, you may have to pay for some things. But technically, when you have access to that platform, you would have all of those things at your disposal. So it's really going to be a very interesting year. I am also learning. I think one of the few things that I've decided to adjust this year, I think I might need to talk to this phone, is vibrating. One of the few things that I decided to adjust this year is to increase the frequency of my learning. I learn every day, and I deliberately pay attention to learning every day. So I go on different platforms, YouTube, what's the name of this one? Twitter, X, Medium, different platforms, just to pick something new, improve on what I already know, do my own research, although I'm currently working on building a research team who will help make my work easier. I mean, I can achieve 10 times the knowledge that I currently consume at the same time because I have people that are doing research for me. So I just give them areas of focus. They go get all the data and compress it into a format that I can easily consume. And then I get those formats, and that's what I deal with every day to be able to improve on what I know, to get better solutions for the things that I'm solving, and also to become a better version of me for you. There are some of you who could have made 10 times the money you made in 2024 if I had been able to guide you better. So if I improve on myself and I become a better version of me, you will be a better version of you as well, because you learn from me, and what you learn from me becomes more qualitative, and it helps you to be able to get the kind of results that you are looking for. So in all of this, we are intertwined, and whatever it is that I am doing, you would also be able to benefit from it greatly. Joshua Olabode said applied at a research team. Okay, somebody will get to you guys very soon, and we'll be able to select the people that I'll be working with. I really don't need a lot of people for a start, but as we expand the brand, we might need more hands. Well, it also depends on how good you are in your ability to, deploy your skills in that area of research. So that's by the way. So I'm saying all of these things to just lay the foundation for what we will be doing this year. It's going to be an incredible session. I want you to make sure you're subscribed to this channel, turn on post notification. We are going to be dumping content on a daily basis here, multiple content on a daily basis here on YouTube. I'll go live almost every day, at least 3 times a week, kind of. And if I don't go live, we will post long form videos where I get to train deeper. And then aside that as well, I will be coming live once a week like this for this mentorship session called the family meeting. Or maybe we'll change the name to community meeting or something like that. We'll probably change the name, or probably we'll stick to the name that we currently have. All right, I believe you're excited, and I want to welcome you specially once again to tonight's session. So, I want to talk about the best way to make money in 2025. When I say the best way, it means there are other ways, and there must be some kind of advantage that the way I'm talking about has that puts it a little bit above other ways that are available or the ways that you might be used to. And for you in particular, because I know that you want to rock your 2025 better than 2024 or the previous year before it, there are things you want to change in your habits. There are things you want to change in your approach. There are new things you want to begin to try in order to get more from life this year than you got last year. I'm doing the same thing on a completely new trajectory. And given all the new things that I've been able to pick up in the last 2 years or 3 years now, because this is 2025, in the last 3 years, all right, it's shaping the way I'm looking at life differently and the things I'm able to get out of this. So let's talk about you. How do you make the most money this year? What do you need to pay attention to this year in order to be able to do very well? The key thing that you must understand is that every journey that runs 2025, when you understand the economy that runs 2025, you will be at an advantage in whatever it is you do, because you'll be able to take advantage of it in order to be able to get the most out of the year. So there are different ways that people can use to make money, but money and the way we interact with it as human beings changes every time. So the way they made money in 1980 is not the same way they make money in 2025. All right? The way they made money in 1990 is not the same way they are making money in 2025. The way they made money in 2000 is not the same way they are making money in 2025. As the year changes, there are different things that are also changing. And it is very important that we recognize what economy runs the year that we are in, so that it will make sense, whatever it is we're trying to do, so we can get the most out of it. Now, when I'm speaking like this, especially in public class like this, I recognize that there are people of different ages, different exposure, and different phase of their lives. There are people who are teenagers who listen. There are people who are in their 20s who listen. There are people in their 30s. If you are in your 30s, you're probably a family person, either a married man or a married woman, maybe 1 or 2 kids already. If you're in your 40s, you're certainly married, or most likely married, with kids already. If you're in your 50s, obviously your kids are probably even married already. And we have people that are in their 60s and 70s. So I have between the ages of 15, I like to think of it, or say between the ages of 18 and age 70. All right, even though I still have people that are more than 70 that also listen to me. Now, if you check each of this year class or age class or age group, the things you are dealing with, all right, in your life differs. The people who are still teenagers, 18, 19, 20, they see life from a different spectacle. So their interpretation of the things that I'm teaching is different from the way someone in their 40s will interpret it. So I'm always conscious, and this is why most times my teaching is long, because I try to give more than one perspective to what I'm sharing, so that when you have more than one perspective, you'll be able to do more or interpret it in a way that will suit your level, that will suit your age, that will suit where you are in your life, and you'll be able to get the best out of it. So when we're talking about making money, to the people who are less than 20 here, it's a different tone. If you're in your 20s, 20 to 29, it's a different tone. 30 to 39, it's a different tone. 40 and above, different tone. So depending on your age class, or what you hear differs. But there is one thing that is generic. Making money is not a function of age. It's a principle. Making money has absolutely nothing to do with your age class. It has everything to do with what you do. All right. So, regardless of how old you are, what you do is what determines the kind of money you will be able to make. What you don't do is what determines the money you will not make. So, you need to be clear about what activities do I associate myself with, what exactly do I do, all right, this year to make sure that I make the kind of money that I want to make. So it's very important we set that into perspective. So why I said all of this is for you guys to know that I recognize you that you are in your 40s. I know that you are in your 50s. I know that you are less than 20, and I know that you are less than 30. So regardless of what age class you fall into, I'll do my best to make sure I carry you along so that you'll be able to interpret the things that I'm sharing in the right way for you as well. So let's get right into it. I did not prepare a slide, even though I have a slide, but I'm not sure I'm going to be using that slide. So, in order to really understand the economy we are in the year 2025, I want to go a little bit back in history. I was having this conversation with one of my mentees a few days ago, and we're talking about the change in ages and how it impacts the things that we are doing. So, in case you were doing something 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and it's no longer working now, it might be because you are in a different age now than where you were 3, 5 years ago. So, you need to recognize what age you are in and then be able to adjust accordingly. So, we start with Industrial Revolution, where people started to adopt technology in order to produce things faster. So because of the creation of this technology, there are needs for people to be trained on how to operate the technology in order to get things done faster and at scale. For example, in agriculture, the introduction of the tractor as against the horse and the carts and what they call this thing, the yoke of oxen and all of that works in the farm, the introduction of the tractor made the work process easier. The introduction of irrigation system makes the work process easier. Now they can plant crops all year round or longer than the season of the crop because of those technologies back in the day. And because of this technology, abundance of food or produce became a reality. Then there is a need for processing of food. So new technology began to happen. The industrial age kicked off through agriculture into factory and work. All right. So eventually people had to go to school to learn different technical skills that will allow them secure a job at a factory in order to work under production, in order to create the input of the economy, the gross domestic product. So that was in the 18s and the late 18s. All right. And that became what a lot of people see as the anchor for wealth. What it means is for you to be able to make money, you have to be a professional or you have to be educated so you can work at a strategic position in a production firm. All right. So either you're trained as an engineer or you're trained as a doctor or you're trained as a lawyer. So the school system became the pathway for a lot of people to gain a form of relevance or to be able to create wealth, as it were. But there was a little bit of fault with that arrangement. The fault in that arrangement is that most of the times people are picked, all right, at the level where we call middle class. So to become wealthy, it was discovered that as an employee, you are limited. And one of the reasons you are limited is because your income is tied to a fixed arrangement called salary. All right, your income is tied to a fixed arrangement called salary. And there's something that came to my mind. When you go out, tomorrow is Monday. When you go out, say in the morning, you're going to see a lot of people rushing to get into cabs, to drive. There's going to be a lot of traffic. They are rushing to do what? To get to work. Now, most of these people that are rushing to get to work are employees. All right. But if you ask them, why are you on this job that you are rushing to? Most of them would tell you it's so that they can put food on the table, because they may have passion for another kind of work, but they also might have been trained in school in a different field, but they are in their current job position because that is what is available that could feed them and their families, or that could meet their needs, that could be their income anchor. So when you ask a lot of people, it is about how much I want to make. That is why they are on the job. There are a very few percentage of people that are on that job because that is their life calling. They believe that is their own calling and they want to run it. All right. So it is important to recognize that in 2025, there are people who are tied to an economy that reigned last in the 1890s or the 19th century. So there is a 200 years old or 150 years old or 125 years old, 125 years old economy is what majority of people still operate in. Why did I say this? If you get a job, no matter how much they are paying you on that job, it is not the ticket to be able to get wealth. That salary is not the ticket to get to where you want to go. That salary is supposed to be a seed that you are going to use to create what will build the life that you desire. Do you get that? So I'm saying to you, if you're on a job, your salary will not build you wealth, but your salary can become the seed that will produce or create the things that will build you wealth. Do you get it? Do you get it? Okay. So going to school, getting a good grade, and getting a job is a good thing, but it is not the best thing. If that is the only option you have for income, by all means, do it. But while you are doing it, have it at the back of your mind that this is not where I'm supposed to be. I do not intend to be here for too long, except it is your calling. All right. But if it's not your calling, if it's for making a living, then you better keep reminding yourself every day that this is just a transit arrangement. I am not going to be here for long. I want to create something out of where I am that is going to build something more sustainable that can create a future that will outlive me. Do you understand? All right. So the economy at that time was about getting a job, going to school, get a grade, get a qualification, and go get a job in a production system. All right. So that still exists today. It will always exist. It's just that most of the times, if you check in the last 100 years, there has been this robot and AI revolution is not just now. It has been in existence for over 100 years. A friend of mine showed me a paper in the 1930s or 20s that AI robots are coming to take people's jobs. 1920s. All right, so they've been talking about it. So it's a process that has been ongoing, which means for efficiency's sake, for cost cutting, the owners of the corporations will always embrace technology in order to get more out of their inputs. They put in little, they want to get a lot out of it. And one of the ways to do that is to make sure they keep replacing human input with robotic inputs. It's a smart thing to do. All right. So that has been happening for a long time. That is to say, the economy of job, the economy of factory workers, the economy of certificates is always going to be at risk of being replaced by robotics or by artificial intelligence. So artificial inputs. that's another form of AI, is always going to override human input when it comes to that. So if you're building your own personal economy or finance around that, you are limited. You're always going to be limited. All right. Your income is limited to the arrangement you made with your employer. Your income is limited to so many factors. So you can't also increase your income at will. No matter how hard you work, you will still collect the same salary you agreed on. And even if there's ever going to be an increase, it's not going to be immediate. And when it comes, it's just a few percentage increase. It's not going to be multiple. So it cannot be where you want to stay for a long time. Now, the people who create the factory, who owns the factory, who own the production companies, who own the corporations, are also human beings who saw life differently. They are the capitalist mindset. Their mindset is solve a problem for a lot of people, collect their money, solve bigger problems for more number of people, collect their money, and be able to build a legacy for yourself and your children yet unborn. So that's the kind of economy that they live in. So they see problems and they see opportunity to collect money by solving those problems. They see a solution that is existing. They see an opportunity to improve that solution. They go to create their own improved solution, and they come to the market to take part of the customer of the existing solution to come to their own because their own is better. And those people see that their own is better. They begin to tell other people. That's what we call market share war. So they come, they take the customers of the previous one. Eventually, another one will come till they share the entire market into pieces. All right. So they are now competing against each other, which is beautiful for the consumer in a way that innovation is born on the backdrop or on the foundation of competition. Let me repeat that. Innovation is born on the backdrop of competition. So the more people who own capitalists, business owners compete, all right, across the same industry to serve the same set of customers, they are forced to innovate such that their own is better than their neighbor's own, and people can patronize their own at the expense of the other people. So that is what really happens that grow this economy. So we have the workers who are working for the capitalists. We have the capitalists, that people who have capital, who have access to capital. It's just what it means. They want to multiply capital. When you impute capital into any idea, all right, the idea is supposed to, like a yeast, the yeast, yeah, put into a dough. It makes the dough to expand and become, swollen or whatever the name is called. So that's the same way it works. When you put capital into an idea, that idea grows, it expands, and multiplies that capital. So when someone has an idea and meet another person that has capital, the two of them work together, they become capitalists. So the capitalist system improves or multiplies the capital that is mixed with an idea. Capital without an idea does not grow. All right. And most time when it grows, it creates a pseudo economy. That is what we call stocks today. That is what we call capital market today, forex markets. That is what we call all of that, which means there is availability of cash. Most of these cash are even abstract assets. You cannot touch them. They do not exist in real life. So people trade what we call tradable abstract assets. So they are abstract assets. They are not real assets. They are not physical assets. They can't feed anybody. All right. That is why during COVID, the stock market in the US was going bazooka. It was blowing up. It was increasing like crazy. Nothing was being produced. All right. But on paper, the economy was growing. All right. The stock was growing. The options were increasing because they are trading capital alone without ideas. So ideas with capital create tangible things, create solutions that are changing the people's lives. If I ask you a question now, that if the stock of Apple increases by 30% and that of Microsoft increased by 20% and that of Nvidia increased by 50%, does that make you eat 3 square meal? except you are an investor in those companies and you trade some of your assets, does it change the condition of the road that you follow to work? Does it? Does it increase the number of hours you have electricity? I'm talking to Nigerians now, sorry. Does it increase the number of hours you have electricity in your area, band A or band Z? All right. It doesn't do anything. All right. So the real people that control this economy, what they do is they take debt against those abstract assets. So if I buy a stock, listen, in Apple, for example, and let's use Amazon, for example, because they are not declaring profits, but their stocks are growing trillions of dollars. So let's say I buy a stock in Amazon and say I buy for $10,000 worth of stocks. And let's say in the last 5 years, it has grown about 10 times. So that's $100,000. So on paper, I have $100,000. What I do to create value for myself is I take that paper. All right. So I'm looking for, let's say this is my stock certificates with Amazon. I take it to a capital market, to the capital markets, maybe a bank. And I say, look at me, I have Amazon stocks worth $100,000 and it could grow. I need $50,000 cash from you. And I'm going to take this $50,000 at 5%, 7% interest rates per year. So they give me the $50,000. I go do what I want to do with $50,000. For example, let's say I build a restaurant with the $50,000. Every year, the $50,000 just need to produce 5%, all right, of the $50,000 so that I will be able to, that's 2,500. So I put $50,000 into restaurants. All I'm paying back is $2,500 or probably $3,500 if I'm doing 7% or so, or even if I'm doing 10%, that's $5,000, which is a lot. Of course, I'm going to get it far cheaper than that. So I get that kind of 5%, say $2,500. That's all I have to pay every year. I still own my $100,000 stock, which is not real. And I still have my restaurant that is producing money for me. The restaurant location is also an asset because I probably lease or bought the property that I built the restaurant on. So that in itself is an asset that I own. The intellectual property of the restaurant, the logo, the brand, and all of that is also an asset that I own. Now that asset has what we call cash flow. Excuse me. From that cash flow, I'm able to pay the interest I'm owing the bank, which is a tiny amount, by the way, and I'm able to do all the things that I want to do. But all of this was produced out of nothing, which is an increase of $90,000 on top of the $10,000 cash, real capital that I put into the abstract asset market. Do you understand what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen? Am I sounding a little bit technical? Are you following me, guys? Fantastic. So that is what a lot of people are building on, or we're building on, when you mix, when you trade capital without idea. But when capital mixes with idea, it creates real value. It creates real value. So today we do different kinds of valuation. There are different valuation model. The generic valuation model that most of the times they use are assets that are not physical, that are not visible. All right. Which is why I love branding so much, because it's all about controlling perception. If perception is real, then every other thing is real. If you have 10,000 naira in your pocket and you want to buy a pen, for example, I can sell this pen to you for 1,000 naira because you have 10,000 naira with you. And this pen might just be 20 naira. But because of how I package myself, how I package the pen, and how I package you, you would pay 1,000 naira for this pen, even though it's 20 naira I bought it, all right, because you can afford it, especially if you don't even know how much they sell this pen. All right, you might have an idea that pen should not be more than 100 naira, but because you don't know how much this pen is, I can even sell this pen for 5,000 naira to you. All right, now what does this simply means? It means that the value we pay for things are based on how we perceived those things to be worth. All right, it's not really based on the original worth of those things, it's based on how we perceive them to be worth. A very good example is if you're lost in the desert and there's no water and you're about to die, and you have $100,000 cash in your bag. If somebody shows up with a bottle of water, all right, I think I have one here, a bottle of water, and says, I'll sell this water for you at $100,000. The question is, would you buy this bottle of water? As a matter of fact, it's not even full at this level for $100,000. Would you exchange the $100,000 cash you have for this water that can save your life? Answer me. Would you exchange it, or you will keep your money and die of dehydration? So 90% of people would exchange the $100,000 and save their life so they can make it back later. So what does it mean? This water is not even worth $1, but you would pay 100,000 for it because it's perceived to be more valuable to you at that time than the money that you're paying for it. So when you recognize this entire dynamics of the market, you know the best way to play. So remember, we're trying to talk about different economies, and we've been talking about the industrial economy and how it leads into the capitalist system, which are the people who control the factory, the industries, the production system. They are the one who control it. Why? Because they had two things. They had capital and they had idea. All right. So they hire labor, factors of production, and they bought land. Some of them even had land. So they had land, they had hired labor, they had capital. All right. And because idea comes to play with capital, there is labor and there is land, they are able to produce a lot of things. This is how it began. Guess what? It will always be true, even now and after now. But majority of people have realized that depending on what you want from life, if you want abundance from life, you need to play a certainly different game. You can't play the employee game. You can't play the I'm working for it game if you want to really make the most out of your life. But whatever road you decide to ply or to take, you need to recognize that there might be processes that you will follow that is dependent on who you are and how you were raised, which means your person and the influence of your environment, would determine the path that you're going to take to become wealthy. Do you get me? Your environment and who you are will determine the path you're going to take to become wealthy. So in order to be able to create real wealth, in order to be able to build something that is huge, you need to first be clear about who you are and what environment you are living in. All right, these two has a whole lot of things to play. So let's keep that aside. And then fast forward, we had the First World War, the world changed. We had the Second World War, the world changed again. And then we had the Y2K, that's year 2000. Of course, after the internet was born, a lot of things changed. Now, what is the internet? The internet has always been in existence for minimum of 30 years before you and I came to know it as internet. It's just a network of computers that can share data and information in real time. That's just what it means. So The only thing that is called internet right now is that I'm in this beautiful studio and I'm looking into my camera and I'm saying words, and you're able to see me on your mobile phone in real time. All right. I am not there on your phone. I'm not there in your room or wherever it is you are, but you're able to see me live talking to you as I am right now. That, my dear, is what internet means. So I can share files, across the globe. So that connects the internet represents. That connectivity is what the internet ability to connect people. You create a new word. Let me ask you to type that. When you have the ability to connect people, you create a new word. When you have the ability to connect people, you create a new word. When you have the ability to connect people, you create a new word. I'm going somewhere with this. When you have the ability to connect people, you create a new word. Fantastic. So, when the internet was born, a lot of businesses came with it, which is when it became decentralized. Not decentralized technically, but I mean when it became what everyone can access and it became a public thing. The biggest companies today on the internet are worth trillions of dollars or hundreds of billions of dollars. And they are all built on the ability for people to connect. Now, if you take a step backward 100 years, you will notice that capitalists who built businesses built it off the back of something. And that something is called the media. They built it off the back of what we call the media. So, what is the media? The media is simply a medium of connecting people, all right, through information dissemination. So, the media connects you to an idea by giving you a certain information. That information could come through the prints, which includes newspaper, which includes books, which includes billboards, all right, and eventually which include emails at the beginning, all right, and then they have the radio media. We all know what radio is, all right, except maybe we have Gen, which one is after Z, maybe Gen Alpha or something. Maybe they don't know about radio, but I'm sure everybody watching me here knows about radio. So, radio. So, and then we have television, which allows you to see what you used to hear on radio. So, all of these things are media, and media came in different format. There's news media, there's entertainment media, there's movie, which is under entertainment. So the movie shape the way we think, the way we see things. Advertisement shape, all of that is trying to shape the way people see things, the way people talk about things. And the media became the bedrock or the backdrop on which all these corporations and businesses were built. All right. So connecting people is the real deal. People who can do that always succeed at anything that they're doing. Why? Because on this earth, whatever we call success is based off on other people. So we succeed either because we help other people succeed or because we advance other people to go forward a little bit, or even in the opposite way. Whatever you call success is a function of other people. All right. It's about the impact you have on other people. That is what you call success. So if your business succeeds, it's because your business sold out. People bought what you have to sell. It still has to do with people. So recognizing that being able to control people is where the real money is, that is what changes the whole game. So when the internet came, they built some codes, which is create what we call a platform that can let people connect with each other and talk with each other. They call that social media. So social is human being connecting. Media is media or a medium, which is simply what's the definition of a medium now? The way or the pipe or how something is done. All right. So, what's the medium of communication? So, how do we do communication? So, how things is done is practically the definition of media. Or let me even let me um, let me see what I can do. I want to see if I could easily do definition. What Okay, let's see. The main means of mass communication. Okay, plural form of medium. Okay, so what is the meaning of medium then? I actually want to check medium. Why media? Medium. The means of doing something. I got it. The means of doing something. All right. The means of doing something. The means of doing something. So what we do is interaction of human being. All right. The interaction of human being. That's people's interaction. How I connect with you, how you connect with me. That is the money. All right. Now, that is what we call socialization or being social or social studies. Forgive me. So that is the meaning of that. Okay. Okay. I can see myself now. So that's the meaning of that. So the means of being connected is what social media is all about. So they created solutions that makes it possible for us to do that connection through the internet. All right. So social media platforms were born. MySpace, Friendster, Yahoo. I think I started with Yahoo, and then Facebook came and changed the whole thing. It made it a lot more easier, and people began to connect. And before you knew it, everyone that knows what is going on wants to be on these platforms because we are built as human beings to socialize. We are built as human beings to connect and interact. I mean, people could marry with the parents of the bride and the groom in the sitting room of the bride's parents, and wedding will be done. Not more than 20 people, the entire family put together. They will eat, change, do everything, and quietly they continue their life, and everybody is happy. But no, 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 no. Because we are being of socialization, we got to socialize. People will go the extra mile. Let me count it for you. They will first do one that they will plan it and the lady will not know. And one of the friends of the lady will invite her to come to one particular restaurant and dress very fine. The boyfriend is not in town. All right. And the lady enters the restaurant, start to see rose petals on the floor. And as they are leading her on, she's going to begin to see all her friends that were not even in the country. Somehow, each of these friends travel paying thousands of dollars, in some cases, hundreds of dollars to be there physically. All right. That's thousands of dollars already spent to then they spent a lot of money to rent the space, the restaurant that they are doing this because they have to decorate the whole place. They will pay a planner. A planner will pay decorator. They will do cake. They will do even the dress that she will wear. Probably is the boyfriend that also still bites. A lot of spending is happening. Follow me. And eventually, the lady will get there and see the guy is nearly on one knee, is holding a particular jewelry called ring. And that ring is probably bought, depending on who they are, thousands of dollars, hundreds of dollars. All right. And then everybody will start shouting, say yes, say yes. And the lady will do shy, give the finger, and they'll put it there. They will hug, they will do party and all that. That is one. I'm coming, you. We are not done. Then after that, the lady will now take the guy and a couple of his people, maybe his parents, his king's men. They will come to the family of the lady and they will take canopy. In some cases, they'll go to the sitting room and then they will do what we call introduction. The lady will pick a new dress depending on the culture. I'm familiar with Yoruba culture more. All right. They will pick, okay, the guy will wear something similar to what the lady is wearing. The families have been talking, they know each other already. In some cases, they are neighbors. All right. They will do that event and cook, and a lot of people will eat. All right. And that is number 2. I'm not done. No. Number 3, the guys, the friends of the groom to be, the husband to be, will arrange a surprise party somewhere, invite the guy, bachelor party. Why that is happening? The ladies will organize what they call bridal shower. Another venue, these days they use shortlet apartments and whatever, overpriced places. They will book decorations, they will book cake, they will book food, they will book drinks, depending on who they are. They will even book male strippers in some culture. All right. That is number 4. Hey, they are not done. No. A few days later, or maybe the next day after that, there's this one they now call traditional one. Before the traditional one, I miss one. They will go to a registry. They will gather people and go there. They will wear dress. They will snap in front of signboard in Lagos. You know that famous signboard. They will pay. Oh God. That's another day. That's another event. That's like 5th event or so. And they will do the 6th one, which is now called traditional. So the traditional, they will bring yam and everything, all the list that they've collected from the bride's stuff. They'll bring palm wine, everything, They do a full-blown event. They wear different people travel from all over, logistics, hotels, shortlets, restaurants, cook, caterers, decorators, event planner, musician, DJ, all of that. Ashwebi. All right. That is traditional. They are not done. No. Then on Saturday morning, in most cases, they will now go to church. All right. The lady will wear, when my daughter got married, the wedding gown alone is thousands of dollars. Thousands, I kid you not, thousands of dollars. Just the white to Oyibo culture. They will do that one. This husband will wear suits. He will carry like 10 guys. They wear suits to match. They have like 10 or 20 ladies. They wear suits to match, gown to match. They will do all of that, go to church. And when they're in church, the pastor will now come. Like they have not done wedding yet. All this while. This is like 7th event. They will do that one. Then they will go to the number 8 event called reception. Oh my goodness. The hall is so large, very beautifully decorated. The way they do those things these days, it look like you are in heaven. All right. So everything will look so good. People are going to change dollar because now they are putting them in jail if they spray naira. So they would have gone to change dollar. Oh my goodness. They will do all of that and finish. They are not done. These days, they've now invented the last one, which is like number 10. They call that one after party. Hey, party after party. Is somebody following me? So they will not do after all of this. Just because one man and one woman wants to change name, something they could have easily done in a sitting room. But why do we go through all of this and spend hundreds of millions, hundreds of thousands of dollars? All right. In some cases, like the Abani family, $100 million. Just because that is who we are. Is anybody following me? That is who we are as human beings. We have to socialize. We have to socialize. So, in that habit, that innate habit that is born with us as human, inside it is your business. Hmm? Inside it is what will bring you a lot of money. Because while I was mentioning all of these things, did you notice there are some people making money at each of the events? Please, if you notice, type 555. There are some people making money in each of the events. They are making money each of the events. So because they have position, because they are the ones who are pushing this thing, they are not done. No. There are so many other things that they will go on Bella Naija, Linda Ikeji Keta to post the wedding. Let them talk about it. And there's honeymoon. There's honeymoon after. All of this just for social events because we want to socialize. So that is who we are as human beings. Okay? So now put that in one hand. The medium that we use to interact as human is called social media. All right. And that social media is what is going to build wealth for you and I because this is the age. Why? Businesses were built on media. Remember, interaction of human being. So there is no business today that does not need the new media because the old media built the old businesses. The new media is going to build the new businesses. That's worse. An hybrid. Have you noticed every standard TV or news station also has a YouTube channel? Have you noticed? Aha. How many of you have noticed that there are fewer people at the cinemas these days? If you have noticed, type cinema for me. If you have noticed that there are fewer people at the cinema these days. Do you know why? Because of Netflix, Amazon, what they call this other one, Disney Plus, Hulu, Apple TV, and the likes of them. Because these platforms now exist, fewer people. One moment. So because of all these platforms, fewer people go to cinema to watch movie. People just go to cinema for a dating experience. It's not about the movie. It's just because they want to take somebody out. Especially bad boys. They want to sleep with somebody's daughter. They first take her to let me even scatter the table right now. Somebody once said this. I can't remember where I learned this from, but I noticed that a lot of guys that are smart, they use it. They say an average lady would give up the cookie after the third date. So what guys do is they want to do 3 dates in one day. So how do you do 3 dates in one day? Very simple. You start with a restaurant. Ladies, listen, so that in case they are doing it for you, you know this is your plan. So they start with a restaurant. They will eat at the restaurant. Have nice time, talk, eat. When they are done, they will now go and see a movie. When they are done with the movie, they will now go to the beach. Or in some cases, they will go and shop. So it's either you go to the beach or you go to shop. So when you go to the beach or you go to shop, by the time you are done, you'll be hungry again. So you go for another meal, which is dinner. So by the time you're done with that dinner, it's already late. This time around is kind of like 10 p.m., 9 p.m., depending on when you start and the city you live in. So it's easy for most guys who even put the movie as a last thing. They put the movie as the last thing. So that when they are done with the movie, it's too late for the lady to go home, or it's easier to suggest to pass the night in their house. It's easier because now you're coming out of the movie 1 a.m. I'm the one driving you. Let's just go to my house. So it's the resistance is lower. Why? Because they have gone to at least 3 places. There is a tendency for the lady, and this is a pseudo feeling, it's not real. So, ladies, be aware when you start to feel like you are comfortable with the guy. You start to feel like John, John, your old friend, somebody you've known for a while, for a long time. So, this new guy start to feel like one of your old friends, but it's simply because he just want to have that 3 dates in a night. And then some of you are probably like, if I'd had this 2 years ago, oh my God. But sorry, now you know. So let's break this down. Human interaction, socialization is the key thing that we are all building on. And why? Businesses are built that made $100 billion. Oh my goodness. In 2024 without producing any physical products. All right. Most of these corporations are big, so they have physical products aspect of their thing, but there is one called Facebook or Meta who made 100 billion last year because of attention, because they have a social platform that has attention of billions of people. So because they have attentions of billions of people, they are able to generate such an income in a year. So whatever you want to do, whatever ideas you have or idea you have, whatever the business you are doing right now, whatever the career that you want to build, even if it's ministry, any kind of ministry, missionary ministry, deliverance ministry, preaching ministry, prosperity, whatever it is you call it, does not matter. Anything, business, career, whatever you want to do, if you build it on this economy, you will do very well. So your and I see you. Your biggest weapon to be able to win in 2025 is recognizing the attention economy and using it to your advantage. All right. The more you know about this, the better you'll be able to thrive this year. So there are people who are going to benefit from the attention economy raw, which is social media. It's called the content creators. Why? Because the current social media operates based on people's attention. And people give attention to social media because of the content on the social media. If you log in to, let me ask you this question. When you first open your Instagram, for example, for the first time, and you are not following a lot of people are not following you, how long did you stay on Instagram? Most of you, probably 5 minutes, 3 minutes. Why? Because before you scroll 1 or 2, you're done with there's nothing interesting there until Reels started, though, that allow you to be seeing lots of content that you are not even following, nobody knows you. And, TikTok started that thing. Before they came, when you first log in, you don't stay long. Why? There is no content to consume. But TikTok revolution came and start to show people content not based on the people they are following or who is following them. It start to show them content based on their behavior, based on their desire, based on their thoughts. Somebody was telling me the best suya in Lagos is Lomon suya. I've forgotten the name of the suya, whatever. It was just a phone conversation on chat on WhatsApp. Ladies and gentlemen, today I saw an ad from that suya on Instagram. How? I do not know. Well, maybe I know. It's because I had a conversation with somebody telling me about that suya being the best in Lagos. And I saw an ad from that suya company the same day. No, the next day. I think it was yesterday that the conversation happened, and I saw the ads today. Is that crazy today? Your phone has camera that even if it is not on, it is still seeing things. Phones are listening to me. I have some Apple devices around. If I shout Siri, one of them is going to talk. Siri, I heard. Sure, you heard me. It has talk. How are you?
I'm happy to be here.
All right, go away. I'm in class. Good night, Siri.
Good night.
So he's listening to me. He's listening to me. So they are hearing all of these things. Why? Because they want to. The purpose of this whole thing is to show you what you like. Why? So you can give your attention to them. Do you get where I'm going with this? So the attention that you and I have is our biggest asset. It's the most expensive commodity we have. So social media platform makes billions because they are able to build a model that feeds you and I with what we want to see. Do you get it? So, but they can't do it alone. If it is Facebook that creates all the content on Facebook, someone like me or you may not be there. We might not spend more than 2 minutes, 5 minutes on Facebook per day. True of us. I know there are one or two of you here who are watching me. You are weird. You can spend 18 hours, 20 hours, 24 hours on Netflix watching a series, Korean movies especially, all of those things. I know there are weird people like that here. But normal people like me, if we watch 2 movies on Netflix, it's because we are just bored for that day. We really don't have. We technically just go on Netflix once a month to see 1 movie only. But if I have 20 friends who makes movies and I know they would finish me if I did not watch their movie, is there an increase in the likelihood that I will watch more movies on Netflix because my friends' movies are there? True, ba? That's exactly what happens with Instagram and Facebook because my friends post content. My ex that left me, that I want to see that I'm doing better than, I want to check. She don't get man. The man find reach me. Or I find past the man. I get money past the man. I want to see those progress. Monitoring spirits. That is what makes a lot of people use social media back then. My point is, social media thrive, ladies and gentlemen, because the content are decentralized. So people create the content that makes this platform to thrive. People like you and I create the content that makes this platform to thrive. So the platform makes money because people stay on them. As simple as that. How? Businesses, remember, businesses is built on the backdrop of media. All right. Facebook, Meta, social media, Instagram, they are an example of a media. It's called new media. All right. Businesses are built on the backdrop of social media or media. Good. So these businesses will pay money so that the platform can show their content to the people. Because the more people see their content, the more they live rent-free in their brain. 2 years ago, I ordered my first product on Jumia.com. But I have been seeing the advert of Jumia for years. I didn't buy the first day. If Jumia has stopped running ads or showing up, I will probably have forgotten that they existed the day I needed to order something online in Lagos. But because they kept showing up on my face, they're in the news. I'm hearing they're in New York Stock Exchange. I'm hearing they change the CEO. I'm hearing their network. I'm hearing they have an expansion in Kenya. I'm hearing they have Jumia food. I've never bought anything there, but I kept on seeing and hearing them. They were living in my subconscious. So the day I needed their service, I had no other choice. As a matter of fact, I want to know the price of something in Nigeria, I go to Jumia. And the number 2 is I go to Gigi. So on Jumia, I check. I say, oh, so this thing is around this amount. Oh, okay. So I have an idea now. The same thing I do in Dubai. I go on Amazon. I want to buy a phone. I go to a phone store. And they're giving me a price. I'm looking at the guy like this. Say, Khalid. Say, Khalid. Hold on. Bang, 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 bang. Amazon, bang, 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 type the thing. So Amazon gives me different sellers of this. So I now start looking. I say, Khalid, see this thing is 4,000 dirham. How dare you call it 6,000? Khalid now say, okay, I'll do 4,500 for you. I say, nah, I'm seeing 4,000 on Amazon. So he now say, oh yeah, open the specifications. Most of the things I buy are gadgets. So we check. He's looking for leverage, some advantage that his own has that the one we are looking at doesn't have. Well, I shop a lot on Amazon, but in Nigeria, I didn't shop on Jumia for years, but because I kept on seeing them. So businesses that are big recognize that the way to thrive is to remain in the sight of potential buyer. There are businesses that are selling products that people don't need until they are maybe in their 20s, but they are advertising to 13-year-old, 14-year-old in things that they could see. Why? They are priming them for when they are 20. So it is us you must remember. It is us. You might not need us today, no problem. But most small businesses, that's another big issue with small businesses, is that they are only trying to advertise to people who can buy now. But big businesses don't advertise to only people who can buy now, because most of the time you can't even buy now from them. But they're advertising so they can occupy a space in your mind so that tomorrow you will buy from them. I was watching Iron Man recently and I saw an advert inside the movie. A lot of people never noticed, but there was an advert. They showed a futuristic engine in a car and then they brought that Audi logo. Audi is a car that advertises through movies. The Transporter is one of them. Aston Martins, James Bond movies. All right. So they use movies to advertise, but they are not saying buy. They're just showing you what their cars could do. They're showing you the futuristic possibilities with their cars. They are imprinting their brand logo in your mind. I didn't know how much influence Audi had on me until the day a friend that I met in a different country, we met in a different country, it's not in Nigerian. So he returned to his country and was talking to me and said, oh, I have a couple of cars. I have an Audi. I have a Mercedes. All of a sudden, the guy brand and packaging just increased. Because I'm like, Audi? I've never thought about owning an Audi. I've only, at that time, I think I've had the Toyota, I've had the Lexus, and I've had the Benz. So I've not done Audi. He had another guy that does Range Rover, Jaguar. There's just a way perception of these people just change because of that. Why? It's not because of them. It's because I have seen those cars before and I've associated them with something else over the years, such that the day someone mentioned that they own such a car, I start to associate those, my new friend that own the car, with Jason Statham, Robert Downey Jr., Iron Man, all those people that are you getting where I'm going with this? So big businesses use media to enter your mind, not to necessarily buy now, but they just want to be there so that the day you will need it, you will remember them. But a small business owner just want to say, oh, I'm putting 5,000 into this Facebook ad. I want 100 people to see it. And I want each of the 100 people to just buy now, buy now. So I'm not small business. Most small business people, they only advertise when they have something to sell. Big business people advertise when they want to share their ideas. They want to share their image. So most of their ads doesn't tell you to buy nothing. So small businesses can create such ads as well. It doesn't have to be a paid ad. It could be through organic content. This is why one of the things I'm going to be the major thing I'm going to be teaching you guys is personal branding through content creation. You have to build your personal brand through content creation in 2025. It's inevitable. Because on the long run, that's what's going to build wealth for you. So, guys, what am I saying? There are people in the last 8 years, 10 years, who create content deliberately on social media platforms or search engine on the internet. And they were rewarded by these owners of the social media platforms for creating content that made people stay longer on their platform. Do you know the bad part? Most of them were silent about it. They're silent about it. There are people in Nigeria today who, on a bad month, they do $20,000, $50,000. And most of them did not even change their lifestyle. They didn't change it. They didn't change it so much. They don't sell any products. They only create content that you and I like, that we consume. It could be entertainment, it could be teaching, it could be training, it could be so many things. That's what they do. My YouTube channel was monetized, or they demonetized it, not because I did anything, but I didn't put an address. Now that I'm even based in Nigeria, I think I should fix it, because I have some money. I have some hundreds of dollars inside this my YouTube. So, and now YouTube is doing incredible stuff. I create a program called the TikTok monetization program, but now it's going to be bigger than TikTok. Probably, maybe we'll change the name, but we might still stick to it. And like I told the people that are on that program, that we are going to extend our content creation beyond just TikTok. We'll start with TikTok, but we'll take it to other platforms. So the simple thing is this, ladies and gentlemen, I'll just give you the formula. Can you create a content that will make people stay longer for at least 1 minute on social media platform? And that content will be so good that everyone who sees it will be tempted to save it, share it, comment on it, and like it. If you can create those contents, you will make money that you haven't thought about yet. That's number one. Number two, while you are thinking about that number one, do you know that the greatest artists are thieves? They stole their biggest masterpieces. That nothing great is completely original. Do you know that all you need to do to have those content is to search for one that has already reached a minimum of 1 million engagements and just repurpose it? Don't copy and paste. Copy, edit it, then paste again. The similar concept, similar, everything is similar. If he has done 10 million, it has the possibility of doing 100,000 with you. or maybe 1 million, maybe 7 million. Sometimes it might even do 100 million. It might do way more than the original you copied. Posting on social media is no longer the way it was in 2007. I just learned this secret 2 days ago. And I'm already talking to my team. I think we're going to have a meeting tomorrow on how we want to implement it. And I will teach you for free. I'll share it with you, for free here. In 2007, 2008, when you post on your feed, your followers are the ones who sees your post. So if you post 2 times a day, they will see you twice on their feed. If you post 3 times a day, they will see you 3 times on their feed. Most social media gurus and advices that you have followed told you to post twice, once on Instagram per day. The best advice. Some will even tell you post 3 times a week. Not so. If you ask them why, they will tell you so that people don't unfollow you if they are seeing a lot of you. That advice is outdated. The new algorithm only show people not who they are following are posting. Kai, get this right. People who follow them, they only show probably 2 to 4% of that number, not even up to 10%. We ever see what they post. So if I have 37,000, I think is what I have on my main Instagram account as of today, when I make a post, less than 2,000 people will see it. As a matter of fact, less than 1,000 people will see it. The only reason that more people see it is because the initial 500, 300, 800 that they show it to, they decide to comment, like, and share it. Then they show it to more people amongst my 37,000. And then they now start to show it to strangers who are connected in one form or the other with the ideas in my posts, or who are connected to the people who engage with my post already. So what are we talking about? The way social media works right now is volume always wins. So what I just learned is a series of accounts that did an experiment to post on Instagram 100 times a day. Yeah. Guys, 100 times a day. And there's a guy who built 1 million followers, I think within 30 days. The guy posted 20 times a day. 20 times a day. It was growing like wildfire. So I said, I might not be able to start with 100 posts a day. I will experiment that before the year ends. We'll do 100 posts a day. But for now, let's start with 20 posts a day or 10 posts and increase it to 20 posts a day and see what happens in a 30 to 90 day period. What happens to it? Because the posts we make on social media today is not for our followers, especially Reels. It is for people who have interest in the things that we talk about and in the SEO of our videos. For example, if you want to succeed on YouTube, and I'm going to be teaching this to the premium students of my TikTok monetization program, by the way. When you want to upload a video on YouTube, the file of that video must be SEO optimized, which means the name of the file must be carrying some keywords that people you're making the video for are searching for. Listen carefully. The thumbnail, the name of the image you're using for the thumbnail, that's the file name on your computer or your phone, must be optimized to carry keywords that the people that the video is meant for are searching. Then you now talk about the thumbnail design itself and then the title of the video itself. So those initial 2 things is what I have never heard before until somebody who paid $60,000 for a coaching program on YouTube with one bigger famous YouTube person began to tell the secrets. I say, yeah. Most of the file that we post is just showing IMG005. Nobody is searching for that. So that is how detailed these algorithms, these programs that run these platforms have become. This artificial intelligence is the one that is running. It's not Mark Zuckerberg that is saying, what are you talking in your house? Let's say I called this one that is from Apple. He was talking to me back. Those are the ones that capture data, processes it, and uses that data to determine what they show you and I. Because what they show you and I must be something we love to keep us in on the platform. So there are billions of dollars that goes into research to think about human psychology. I'm going to talk about that more when we get into personal branding trainings. There's actually a study I did sometime last year about the correlation between social media platform and casinos. How casinos get you to finish their monies on them, and how social media gets you to invest your entire time on them. Now, we're not going to necessarily study that so that because I'm not a consumer of social media. I consume once in a while, but I consume strategically. I consume so that I can be able to create. I'm necessarily not consuming because I have nothing to do. So when I watch anything, I'm looking at what are the key strategies inside this video that made it have this kind of stuff. One of my friends started going viral. I mean, recently our videos are now having 600,000, 800,000 on Instagram. Long form video on Instagram. I said, what's this guy doing differently? Hey, I went to check it. I didn't just do congratulations or feel envious or feel happy for her alone, or just consume the content. No, I'm checking what she's saying. How did she start? What is the this? What is it that? So I'm trying to evaluate the mechanics of those new videos that are just going viral all of a sudden. All right, what is she doing differently? The guys that are having 1 million views, what did they say? How did they say it? What are the structure of a content? So I'm studying all of those things. So it's important to know how these things work so that you'll be able to make a lot of money from it. So let me tie this together, ladies and gentlemen. 2 things I want you to take away from tonight's class as I round off is that we are in the attention economy. You cannot build wealth if you don't use attention. Okay? The fastest way to build wealth is through other people's attention. So if they sell Maggi, people need to know that you're selling Maggi. You need to get people's attention to see that you're selling Maggi. Whatever you are doing, the more attention you can get, the more you will succeed. Then number 2, you can begin to create content that get people's attention on these platforms, and the platform will pay you handsomely, sir. They will pay you. They will pay you. Now, you can choose to be behind the scene, and not show your face, which I'm against, because I believe everyone needs to be the personal brand. I say this often. Those of you who have been my student for a while, you would have heard me say this, that it's like my dad never existed. He's late. There's no record of him except me and my siblings that probably would tell his story. Great guy. But he never wrote a book. He didn't do anything what you're putting on the internet. It was never on the internet. My father believed that a mobile phone should be placed at the center table like an old landline. So when it rings, you go pick it. Or when you want to call, you go press it and call. He actually cautioned me from taking. I said, Daddy, they call this thing handsets. Now hand is supposed they day. Said, no, phone should be on the table. That's my kind of father. He's such an old man. His era is such a old era. But he didn't create nothing. So that a lot of people want to be behind the scene. Hey, see, when we're talking about putting your face out there, we're not talking about putting private things out there. There are people who personalize or specialize in that. That is not you. If you search me online, I bet you can't know 20% of me from anything you see online. I'm so deliberate about what I put online. Those of you who are my students will probably hear me share some stories, and I don't post these things. It's deliberate. Some things are private. Some things are for business. They are for online. So let's talk and teach and what have you. A lot of you only know me as a talking head. I talk, 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 talk. You think I'm like that in real life? Nah. I can be so quiet and silent. I mean, like I'm a different person outside of this stuff. So you can also show your face and deliver content because all this content are being documented. Today is not to talk about 7-Eleven-6. We're going to get into all of that and talk about it. It's very important. So if you've not made plans for content creation in 2025, I want to appeal to you to do it. There are different reasons you have to do it. Maybe next week or so, we're going to talk about that. But I think by next week, Saturday, I want to host about 10 people in my studio here in Lagos. And I'm going to spend 6 hours with you to build a rock solid personal brand together. So we're going to create the entire strategy and build what we call your 7-Eleven-6. That meeting is worth 2 million, but it's going to be free. All right. But I will select who will come. All right. So if you know you live in Lagos, I want you to find a way to send me a message to ask to qualify. We're going to post 1 or 2 things about it tomorrow so that people can apply. Then we'll pick 10 people that will come, and then we'll be able to be together to get these things done. It's going to be an incredible day, the biggest or best trainings I've ever done, because it's going to be 100% practical. We are there, we are rocking things together, we are creating everything live and direct right there. It's going to be dress code. Some of you might even come with change of clothes because you are going to make content right there with Netflix grade cameras. So we've been building a studio. We're going to talk about it publicly very soon. But the studio will be ready before next week. So that's where we're going to be having the training. Is going to be the workshop is going to be right at the studio. It's free of charge. I'm not going to charge you anything. If you're living in Lagos, once I select you, you come around and let's build these things. The worth of the training is 2 million, but you're getting it for free. All right, just 10 people. I cannot take crowd yet. Maybe later on, subsequently, we're going to find a way to get it done. So it's going to make a lot of sense later on. Okay, so I think I've taught a lot of things. I think I've taught a lot of things already. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to put an end to part 1. So next Sunday, I'm going to be here again 9 p.m. and we're going to do justice to these things. I want to get deeper and deeper into this, and it's going to be an incredible session that we're going to have. So if you're not subscribed to this channel, please do that. Turn on post notification. Go to my Instagram, samharvard_. Make sure you're following, turn on notification. I'm going to make a post about this so you can be able to apply. And then I'll see you on Saturday, it will be. And then on Sunday, we'll come here again to talk. For TikTok people, there's some updates already, but I think I'll talk to you guys in your groups. So have a lovely, lovely week. I believe you're going to have the best coming your way. God bless.
powerful business coach, millionaire mentor, a multi-talented serial